Welcome back to another iDoctor UK video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the screen on the iPhone 11 using an aftermarket display. To start off, power down the phone if touch is still available on it, and then remove the two pentalobe screws from the bottom of the device. Once they're removed, take a single-sided razor blade and create a small incision between the plastic edge of the screen and the metal chassis. Insert it a couple of millimeters and then pry backwards. Create a larger gap, which is now big enough to fit a plastic guitar pick in there. With that inserted a couple of millimeters, we're just going to run it along the edge to separate the screen from the chassis. Take the razor blade out and continue around the bottom edge and the left-hand edge of the phone. Don't worry about the top edge because we can just lift it up and wiggle it out to release the screen. Now we're into the device, we're going to place a heavy object behind it like a mug, and then to begin detaching the screen, remove the 3 screws holding down the shield for the battery cover, remove the shield with tweezers, and then using a plastic spudger, disconnect the battery flex here so that we can isolate power from the device. Moving up to this shield here, remove the 5 tri-wing screws. Once the screws are removed, remove the shield, and then using the plastic spudger again, remove the connector for the front sensor and ear speaker, followed by the 2 display connectors, one for the touch and the other the LCD. That'll now free the screen away from the chassis. Take advantage of being able to remove as much glue as possible, and then we'll move on to cleaning the chassis before we prepare the screen. The glue on the iPhone 11 is not too bad to remove. Just take some fine tweezers and begin pulling it up and remove as much of it as possible before taking a cleaning brush and some isopropyl alcohol, clean the edges of the chassis. We use these repair specific brushes, but if you don't have one, a clean toothbrush will do the same job. It's important to get the chassis as clean as possible at this point. Failure to do so will mean that the new dust and moisture resistant seal won't sit very well onto the chassis. Most screens come with a new seal now, and this one's no exception. So we'll stick that into place and align the edges of it. Before securing it down with a plastic spudger. I'll now remove the first layer of the film. Some of the peels have different qualities. You might find that your screen comes with a blue seal, but they do exactly the same job. Now that the seal's applied, we can remove the ear speaker from the broken screen and begin transferring it onto our new display. There's 1 tri-wing screw in the top left corner of this ear speaker. Remove that, and then remove the 3 crosshead screws in each corner of the ear speaker. Once they're removed, take your tweezers and unfold the ear speaker from the flex cable. Now take your tweezers again and lift up this small bracket. And then using a hairdryer or a heat gun, warm up the area around the proximity sensor, microphone and ambient light sensor to soften the adhesive underneath so that we can get our tweezers underneath and carefully lift up the sensors without damaging them. It's really important to be careful when doing this because if this flex cable gets damaged, it will render Face ID obsolete. Now that the flex cable is removed, we can take our new display and remove any peels on the back of the screen, then place down the flex cable the same way that you removed it. Once the flex is lined up, you want to take your proximity sensor and line that into place. Sometimes you might need the tweezers to give it a little nudge, followed by the ambient light sensor, and at that point the microphone should be secure. Reinsert that small metal bracket. This can be a bit tricky, but it looks like I've got it in one. And then fold over the ear speaker, aligning the screw holes, then secure down the 3 crosshead screws and the single tri-wing screw in the top left. With those secured now, we can move on to transferring the True Tone data using a True Tone programmer. This is an optional step if you have a programming tool, but it isn't essential and it won't affect the way that the screen works. But basically what we do, we take the old screen, read the data that's stored in this chip down here, remove it, attach the new screen, and then write in the data. So this just acts as a sort of clipboard for transferring the data from the old screen to the new. Now I can move that out of the way. Now we can get the new screen and begin offering up the flex cables one by one. Once they're lined up, just apply a little bit of pressure. You'll feel it sort of click into place. It might be a little bit awkward if it's your first time doing this, but just be patient. Once they're secured, we're not going to put the shield on just yet. We're going to resecure the battery, and it's a good time to test that your new display works okay. It won't do any harm to turn it on like this, as long as the connectors are connected properly. We can just make sure that touch is good by making sure that it doesn't drop the slider when pressing power off. We can see that we've got touch all over, which means that we can seal this device up. So we'll start off by lining up the shield at the top and resecuring the 5 tri-wing screws. I'll just make another note here that all these screws are the same size, so it doesn't matter if you muddle them up slightly. As long as they're the same screws what came out of the logic board, you're not going to do any harm by putting them in a different location. Now that's secured. It's a little bit fiddlier to put the bracket for the battery back on, but if you lift up the cables for the screen, resecure the bottom 2 screws first, and then we'll peel back the screen cables a little bit so that we can get the top screw in. One other thing I've just noticed before I'm going to seal this up, and this can be quite common, is that this bracket here slips out of its housing. You just have to pull it back and make sure that it's sat under the little catch so that it doesn't lift up. If you don't do that, then the screen won't sit flush and also runs the risk of damaging the new display. Now this is ready, I'm going to peel back the peel for the dust and moisture resistant seal, and I'll just sort of close the phone now so that I can get the rest of the peel from this side. Then to make sure that the screen goes back perfectly into place, we're going to get the top of the screen first, make sure that it clips in at the top, nice and flush with the chassis, and then apply pressure in that corner there, followed by spinning it round, apply pressure there, and give it a squeeze on the bottom to make sure that it sits nice and flush. We can see we've got a corner what's struggling to go in there. I think it's got a little dint in the top. If that ever happens, you can take your razor blade again and just give it a little nudge to make sure that it sits in perfectly. We'll turn the device on again, and whilst that's booting up, we'll just make sure that we resecure the 2 pentalobe screws into the bottom of the phone. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful for you, and I'll see you next time.